Welcome back for a little Friday night philosophy, and happy St. Patty's Day. Of course, this won't get posted until Saturday, so St. Patty's Day is effectively over. But how happy am I to be sitting outside on St. Patrick's Day, enjoying a little pipe and a little bit of Old Smuggler blended scotch. I apologize for any undue noise. I live next to a busy street, and apparently with St. Patty's Day, everybody wants to race across town. I don't understand that. That's why I'm at home. First off, I gotta say, every time I log on to YouTube, I see another YTPC introduction video. And I've been watching these for a while, finally did my own today, and it's amazing how many of them there are out there. And I thought, well, why not just set up a playlist? So whether you are a fellow piper or not, you might want to just check out the playlist at the bottom of my page, because what a fantastic and unique collection of people. Right now there's 68 videos in there. I have no doubt before I'm done there will probably be 300 or 400. But what a great community of like-minded people, and like-minded only in the hobby sense. Everybody in here has their own unique views on everything, but can come together over a hobby and talk and share stories and enjoy. And I've spent probably 2 hours tonight going through YTPC intro videos and just really smiling and enjoying and subscribing to a number of them that I had never heard of before tonight. So again, if you're so inclined, this is a great little collection bucket full of introduction videos from some really great and unique people. And now on to the main thought of mine for the evening, which is fatherly advice. First of all, I'm not a father. I have no kids. But I grew up with a father who was very stern. He wasn't necessarily strict. He never ever whooped me for any particular reason, or at least nothing I didn't already deserve. But very stern. And his way or the highway. And I grew to respect not only my parents, but my friends' parents because of that. And I appreciate that part of his personality more than he will ever know. And I say that in part because my father died when I was 25. Died of cancer, and, shit happens. Everybody has struggles in life, so I don't want to make this sound like because my father's, passed when I was young that I deserve any special anything, because I don't. But what I didn't get from that relationship was an opportunity to really have adult conversations with him. And I missed that. I think when I was growing up, and I'm guessing it's similar for most folks, but when I was growing up, especially in my formative elementary school years, I think the assumption was father knew everything. There was always an answer. If there was a problem, you talked to dad. He knew how to solve it. And I think at that age, probably even through junior high and maybe even early in high school, I couldn't wait to get old so that I had all the answers. Because dad had all the answers. And, when you're a kid, you don't know any different. You just assume that dad has all the answers. He gave you an answer. There was no Google. You couldn't go back and fact check him. And I dare say I never would have. I would have gotten my ass whooped. But, you know, now that I am an adult, I wish I could pick his brain and say, just how many of those answers did you actually have? I think, again, when you're a kid, you assume that there's a plateau at which adulthood, you have all the answers. There's nothing left to learn or that you necessarily need to learn, and that, you know, you know what you need to know. And increasingly, I am finding out that that is not the case. And those of you who are older than I am will certainly attest to this, I'm sure. But, you know, I am finding at times that I know less now than I think I did when I was in my 20s. You know, when you're younger, especially the young adulthood, the post-college or post-high school years, the workforce years, where there's an ignorant decisiveness about us, where we assume that we know what we need to know, so we just make snap decisions. And they're not always the wrong decisions. Sometimes they are the right decisions. But there's an assumption there, I think, that we've met that plateau where we know what we need to know. So we just make those decisions, and then we look at the older set and say, well, why was this so difficult for you? Well, now that I am nearing that edge of the older set, now I'm starting to understand all of the other variables, the gray areas, the this and the that we weren't thinking about when we were in high school or college or post either of those two, you know, when you're fresh into the workforce. And I sincerely wish I could talk to Dad now and say, okay, how dumb were you at my age? How many things did I just, as a kid, assume that you were right on when you were punting the entire time? You know, and I look forward to this next stage in life, the next 15, 20 years, where I continue to figure things out even as I approach retirement, you know, 15, 20 years from now. Because I think I'm maybe in the third stage of learning, if you can call it that, where I've lived my 20s and the bulk of my 30s assuming that I knew a lot more than I did. And my eyes have been opened in a different way recently, and it's not anything particular. It's not any one event that tripped this trigger. It's just been a gradual realization that, damn, you know, all of the honor society and, you know, graduating with honors, honor roll stuff that I've done in my life, the small awards that I've won for various things, really mean nothing at this stage in my life. They were important at the time. They got me a leg up on the competition in many aspects. But at 39, leaning towards 40 at this stage, I'm realizing that for all of the hard work that went into achieving those awards, at the end of the day, doesn't make me any smarter when it comes to paying the bills, dealing with day-to-day life situations that are ever more unique, especially in the social media age. But you know, back to the original point, I certainly miss my father. I miss my mother too. I lost her a couple of years after Dad. But, you know, I wish, again, to have that opportunity with my dad and just sit down and say, okay, how much of this was just straight up bullshit? Because I'm feeling right now like a lot of current dads, you know, dads who had younger kids, a few years back or whatever. Just kind of made it up as they went along. And now I certainly appreciate that. I wish I had understood that better as a kid. And not that I wanted to look at my father any differently, because I like the sternness, I liked his attitude. But I would like to know him as a person now, and unfortunately I'll never get that chance, but maybe that's a lesson for those of you out there who still have fathers in your lives. Maybe it's a chance to ask them about the amount of bullshit they threw at you, and really maybe try to appreciate the work that they put into being a dad that maybe went unnoticed because you just assumed that they had all the answers, and chances are they didn't. Maybe my dad was unique in the realm of ignorance, but I kind of doubt that. Now that I'm aging and there's some gray flowing into the beard here. I don't know. You know, one last time. Something I will never get to have, but maybe you still have a chance. Please take advantage of it if you do, whether it's your mother or your father. Once they're gone, you can't replace them. Anyway, happy St. Patty's Day. Have a great night. I apologize for not wearing any green, but this is my green glass. So I feel like I achieved the spirit of the season. And just as a general note, this is actually the bottom of a Scotch bottle that was cut and sanded by a friend so that I have cocktail glasses actually made from old Scotch bottles. I don't know. Just one of those cute little kitschy things that we all have in our lives in one form or another. Have a great rest of your evening, rest of your week. Check out some of the other stuff on my page, but Friday Philosophy coming back at you next week. Take care.